Hi, my name is Trent Ortner, and I am the Executive Director and Chair of the Redacted Caucus. I have an important set of questions. Ponder with me. Let's explore the possibilities. What would it cost to reclaim liberty in the United States? Is there worth in believing in freedom unitarily, with every human being on the planet, which would be our ultimate goal? What is freedom, or liberty though? Before I give my answers, consider this disclaimer. It varies from person to person. You ask people from China or Russia, they will have a different perspective and understanding of what freedom is. Compare their perspective to, let's say, a rich white man in the United States. They'll find a radically different understanding of liberty and how it exists between cultures. Every day, non-stop, you are watching, reading, or listening to the infringement of someone's rights, which were declared in the Constitution of the United States. That is at least according to your humble middle-class American, your common man and woman. These inalienable rights have been chipped and chopped, eroded and corrupted over and over. A crisis is unfolding in front of you, and you are numb and senseless to it. You walk around in a daze as if asleep. When will you wake up? You might be temporarily saved from what is to come, but when will you decide to think for those after you? This is the biggest concern I have. My sole intention in everything I'm doing politically or have done to this point culminates to a vision that I've seen for those who will precede me. All of it started when I saw my daughter for the first time. I became a father and I asked that question. What will her life be like? And will she be safe when I no longer walk with her on earth? The realization that I had absolute uncertainty, the lack of a single iota of thought which could be realized in that moment, pondering her life or future terrified me in a way that I have never felt before. I, a new father, looked back on my life under the increasing burden of tyranny, fell beside myself, paralyzed by fear for my daughter and her future. I know that if I didn't shift every bit of focus on protecting my daughter and her life and the freedom by which she can keep her life her own, I'd have failed as a father. We are parents, and our children are always our top priority. We are a union of adults raising children into an unforgiving sphere of wrath and chaos. Raising your child includes getting your hands dirty and taking off the gloves to shape every minute detail of their future. We are a silent majority of people with immense responsibility and similar grievances toward a government that may harm our children and steal from them like they have stolen from us. We, the silent majority, must wake up, rise up, and take back what is stolen from us. If we can do that for ourselves, our children will flourish and we will not need to do it themselves. The more secure we make our future, the more secure we can make our children's future. There is no outcome or alternate social retort favorable to us, and there is no future that doesn't involve a mind-bending revolution, whether peaceful or violent. We desire peace and understanding, a revolution where not a shot is fired or a person is harmed. We desire to come to the table and let our outcry lead to action, which can lead to a better life for everybody. Again, not by our planning or back-channeling are we inciting or antagonizing an uprising. We just want our leaders to listen and then act immediately. Action before words. We have the latter currently, not the former. The leaders of our nation are bought and sold, told to do and say things with a bounty on the actions for which they carry out. Wherever large fortunes are at stake for the sake of an edict shall become a law, and all those who desire this wealth will make it so. Wherever power trickles down a ladder to those seeking to catch it, while attention and obedience gather to emphasize whatever the most powerful among them wish to embolden. By this system, we are misled and paid for misleading so long as we are doing so with the promise of a benefit. And this system is disgusting to me and many millions like me. Corporations and Americanized oligarchs own our politicians and lead them like dogs to a chest full of toys, choice cuts of meat, so long as they defecate in the yard, and that yard is our yard, our nation. Wealth and prosperity does not find a new leader in their prime. Corruption finds this leader, and whatever benefit they desire is up to the choices they make while they are at the helm of their position. In politics, this is called chasing a carrot. The carrot is made up of special interest money. That money used to be our money before it was laundered. It's usually money that is unseen, unheld, and untraceable. Before, getting elected to office was a duty of conviction to change what was wrong with our nation. Now it is an excuse to use your connections and status to leech money out of the hands of the public into your arms, which is then never seen again but by you and your compatriots. You are set for life as long as you are a good actor and even a better swindler. As long as you look like you're doing work and don't do anything to make your voters upset, you can rinse and repeat as long as you want to keep being a pawn and making money for it. That's not even the worst part. If you're obedient and can get results for the powers over you, they'll do everything they can to keep you in place for as long as possible. If you lose, you're still in luck. The corrupted connections that are created to control the votes of our politicians are usually made for life. Even outside of office, these political pawns are well paid for, paid at the price of the constituents and the people who contribute with fees or taxes levied to support this scheme. Consumption is the factor that is funding the operation. These oligarchs spend billions of dollars advertising and inventing to appeal to you in order to make money and satisfy the needs of the machine. The oligarchs benefit, the government benefits, and the consumer loses. You pay taxes which go to the government, which is already receiving money from these massive industries. The politicians are kept in check by the oligarchs, and the oligarchs are kept in check by the politicians. Politicians, while owned financially, are responsible to keep the system in favor of the oligarchs and vice versa. It isn't hard for them to create pressure and a dead switch per se with the special interest money. That way, they can continue the relationship even outside of office. The private sector is a muddy pit for former elected leaders. That has to end. Not so much for working outside of office, but two other things. Firstly, we need to install some sort of term limits for Congress. It takes time to be incentivized and establish connections while also doing just enough work to remain in favor. In 50 years, that can happen. Hell, it could happen in 8. If we add pressure to do effective and meaningful work, there will be no time to gather incentives and the fad will die out. It simply won't be viable. Secondly, we need to end the presidential binary. In order to do that, we need to create universal ballot access. In a free nation, it should be possible for anyone, even an independent person, to have a reasonable chance to become president. Inside of the Libertarian Party, for example, there is a potential to promote, listen to, and elect great and effective leaders. The problem is the duopoly controls the election. The news gets an incentive to chase the other two parties and their contenders while leaving us in the dirt. Did you know that there is a massive population of the voting public that does not vote, simply because they are uninterested? The gap is estimated to be 41% of our country. For close to the past 12 years, 37 to 41% of the people have not voted. That right there is a huge issue. 91 million people of voting age did not vote in 2020. Biden received 84 million votes and Trump got 79 million. If we could get just 31% of those non-voters, that could change everything. That is our target audience. And if that's you watching this, are you willing to help us fix what is broken? Take the standard today. Be a leader. Don't be afraid to stand up for what's right, even if people hate you for it. And there are many out there that'll hate you for it. We are being divided more and more each day, and we are made out to be vilified as evildoers, and that's just not the case. Come, stand with us today in the Redacted Caucus, and let us bring freedom back to the United States. Thank you.